Glad to have you back. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the Not Too Young to Run bill, congratulating young Nigerians for conceiving and championing a landmark piece of legislation that would expand the playing field for youth participation across the country in politics.
Yeah, in this report, we warn that it contains flash photography, so let's play it for you as we get
Just
along.
2 days after President Buhari pledged in his Democracy Day speech to sign the Not Too Young to Run bill, and he has fulfilled his pledge. The bill, which the president describes as a formidable legacy in Nigeria's maturing democracy, ensures a reduction in the minimum age for elective office in Nigeria, with the eligible age for members of the State Houses of Assembly reduced from 30 to 25 years. Likewise, the eligible age for aspirants for the House of Representatives is reduced from 30 to 25 years, while that for the office of the president is reduced from 40 to 35 years. President Buhari expresses surprise that age limits for senators and governors remain untouched and believes that this is an issue that needs to be addressed going forward. Nevertheless, he is optimistic that the piece of legislation opens up the political field for young Nigerians to leave their mark.
Nevertheless, your focus and contributions have now successfully increased the quality and maturity of Nigerian democracy and expanded the playing field for youth participation in politics. You, the young people of Nigeria, are now set to leave your mark on the political space, just as you have done over the decades in entrepreneurship, sports, art, media, entertainment, technology, and several other fields.
He urges the young advocates not to stop at what they have achieved, but to now position themselves to grab opportunities available for them.
I am confident each one of you will transform Nigeria in your own way, whether through media, agriculture, enterprise, economists, engineers, or as lawmakers in your state or at federal levels, or as state governors, and even someday as president. Why not? But please, can I ask you to postpone your campaign till after 2019 election?
It is a point of view many members of the Not Too Young to Run movement align with and pledge to work seriously towards.
Consider it a day of victory for the Nigerian youths. It's not just the constitutional amendment that has taken place, but it's the rebirth of a new generation in politics.
And I'm calling on all Nigerians, young people, to stand up and actually contest. Don't let this bill be another one that's not implemented and not useful. Make sure you come out, use the bill and contest. Vie for positions in your State House of Assembly, even local government, chairmen, ward councillors, whatever it is. Vie for office, make a difference, make an impact. Nigeria needs you, we need you, and I'm so proud and so excited of this very day.
And while President Buhari, on a lighter note, asked the young advocates to postpone their campaigns for the presidency till after 2019, it remains to be seen how young Nigerians can now take advantage of this piece of legislation to change the political landscape even as early as this year. Tayamudu, TVC News, Abuja.
All right. Well, it's an interesting one, I must say. Like some would say, it was victory for democracy, moving things forward
About
one way or the other.
time.
Yeah. Others would say, well, it's a big challenge on the other side,
Indeed.
on the youths who are supposed to take the mantle. Now we still have with us Dr. John, communication and leadership strategist, with us in the studio. Well, we have on Skype from Akure, Ondo State, a member of the Not Too Young to Run movement, Oludaisi Omokungbe. Did I get it correctly? Omokungbe.
Yeah, I think you should
All right.
tell us.
Oludaisi, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, nice to have you join us. I'll have to start with you here right now. When the Not Too Young to Run bill was passed into law, there was so much jubilation, which is expected. But what is the bigger challenge right now?
First of all, I will start by appreciating Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari and the National Assembly, and of course, state houses of assembly across the nation, who have seen the light, who has contributed immensely to making Not Too Young to Run a law in Nigeria. We indeed appreciate them. If you want to talk about the challenges that is ahead of us as young people, for instance, we in Nigeria, if you look at the statistics of young people in Nigeria, we are about 60 million people, and we are of the opinion that this is a very huge demographic that Nigeria must harness if we really want to develop our economy, we want to develop education, we want to develop a political system. So that is why we've been part, and we've campaigned for Not Too Young to Run. And indeed, it has happened. We've made history. But the aspect of the challenges ahead is about getting other youth who are still doubting the efficacy of this law. We want to ensure that we continue in our advocacy efforts, not this time around, not in the direction of ensuring that it is becoming law, because it has become a law already. But what we want to do is to create a kind of massive critical movement among young people to be part of the process. Not only by contesting elections, but also by voting, by participation, because we have the opinion that participation is also core principle of democracy. And young people, indeed, if we want to stop unemployment, if we want to stop bad roads across Nigeria, if we want to stop the problem of poor electricity, young people must come and take decisions that affect their future. And in terms of the challenges that you've raised, is about building capacity. And we are setting various platforms to ensure that we do that.
Okay, we'll get to you in a bit. We'll ask you more questions. I need to bring Dotun in at this point. Now, there have been mixed reactions, trailing the Not Too Young to Run law. Yeah. Some legal luminaries have been saying that all is not uhuru yet, because it's just an act, and it's not even an instrument in the Constitution yet. That until it is amended in the Constitution, as provided for in Section 106 and 13 and other sections of the Constitution, that if these ages are not changed, the Not Too Young to Run law is just an act, and any other law or any other act that is not in consistency with the Constitution is not and void.
Yes, I think majorly we can continue to debate the legal aspect as far as the law is concerned. But again, I'd always said that the major challenge we have is not about new law, it's about new logic. And I'm going to start from where he stopped from. Because either we like it or not, getting the people to participate is a huge task. I do not need the Not Too Young to Run, for example, to run as a governor of my state, because I am already 35. It shows that as a young man, I can actually run now, even without the law. But what the law will have been able to do is to have encouraged people to come participate. But again, there are many aspects of the society which I want us to look at. Government is one aspect. The government has done its own part by passing a law. Now the other aspect of the society must key into it. Now what we have is Not Too Young to Run law. We need to also, within the society, family members, religious organizations, need to pass a law within their system of not too broke to run. Because now I might have passed the test of age. Have I passed the test of finance? As we speak now, the political system, I cited an example of what happened in 2015. What happened in 2015 is that in 2015, if you are 30-year-old, you can go to the House of Assembly. But in the two major political parties, in PDP, for example, to obtain an express of interest form in PDP is 1.1 million naira. So I might have passed the test of age, but have I passed the test of finance? So there are still a lot of issues here and there, and the expensive political structure is one thing that the society needs to pass as a law within themselves, that come on, we have passed the Not Too Young, the government has done its own part by passing the Not Too Young to Run, then the society must pass the Not Too Broke to Run. bill.
All right. Now, the issue of independent candidacy would also have added to that, but that wasn't passed into law.
It will not
It
have
didn't,
added,
it didn't see the light of
it
day.
will not have added anything to it. As we
How?
speak now, it will have been more of a threat to the entire process.
Why? Why would it be a threat?
Thank you. Now, how many political parties do we have? Are we not
68.
already afraid that we are having too many political parties? And ideally, political parties are supposed to create a level playground for everybody. But the way it is now, people, especially people of my generation, are even afraid. We have about 4 or 5 people contesting as president. Is that how we want to win election? That's not how we want to win election. Now, if the independent candidacy has scaled through, I tell you that we have more than 200 under 40 people.
But wouldn't that be
will
better?
come
Wouldn't that
but-
be better?
but-
Doctor, let me come in here. Wouldn't that have been better than, you know, having young people now that you have already said might not have the financial backing to be able to contest in the first place? Which political party of today would back a young person to contest?
Now, the entire problem we have is not totally resident with the political party. I just cited the political party as an example. The problem we have is resident with the people. Because even if the political party today gives you the expression of interest from free of charge, you are still going to buy rice and distribute to your people. If I get to my village today to campaign for my family members, I need to go with bag of rice.
So it's more about the mentality
It's
of it.
about the mentality
Okay,
of the
let me
people.
bring in Oludaisi here. He is back on now. Now, Oludaisi, a lot of persons have argued that the Nigerian youth is looking forward to leading. They're not too young to run. It's all about leadership and all of that. But the Nigerian youth has not been a good follower in the first place. And to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. So you have a track record of following a leader, and then when you get there, you can lead well. But from your perspective, has the Nigerian youth been a good follower?
To a very large extent, Nigerian youth have been very good followers in the recent years. Most of the reasons why people are accusing young people of not being a good follower is of the reason why, because if really you want to follow someone, you must understand the integrity of that person. You must be aware of the things he can do. Then, if you want to follow someone, even with the practice in Nigeria, most of our, sorry to say, we know the situations of most of our leaders, and if you are encouraging the youth to follow them, then are we saying your young people should go and learn from the looters? So if you learn from a looter, at the end of the day, what you grow to become is also a looter. So young people have decided to follow the people they wish to follow in the recent years, and it is time for them now, for the young people to really come on board and decide their future. Even this issue of mentorship, this issue of followership that we'll be talking about, for me, I don't see that high degree of importance to it. For instance, I was at the radio TV station here in Akure, and I asked the anchor that who was the mentor to Chief Obafemi Awolowo. So leadership and mentorship is intentional. Young people in Nigeria have track record of what they are doing in a very good manner in their communities, and this is what we want to translate to national development. So it depends on, it's a personal issue. And for me as a young person in Nigeria, I have track record that I can boast of. And for those who don't, hello?
Yes, let me come in here. From what you just said, and from what some people have been saying, really, that Nigerian youths don't usually support themselves. That if a young candidate comes out now, that they would be sure that many young people in the country might not even support the person. Add into the mix that young people are the ones politicians use every time for their political workings, to put it that way.
Okay, good and fine. If you let me just make it clear that not too young to run law in Nigeria is to make or create a kind of consciousness among young people. It is time for them now to see themselves as young leaders of today, not leaders of tomorrow that as we've been called over time. Now, if that consciousness has been created, then we are declaring an end to thuggery in politics. If they want thug for their political business, then they should employ their children to do that for them. So the time has come for a radical shift. Then in terms of talking about young people not supporting themselves, I want to make it very clear to Nigerians and the whole world that in the history of Nigeria, the issue of not too young to run, there has never been any time where young people gather together to agitate for a particular cause that decide their future in the political process. And with not too young to run law, we have made history and will continue in that particular path to ensure that we live by what we preach. Then, not supporting one another. I've had the opportunity to meet at least 2 or 3 out of these young presidential candidates in Nigeria, and I'm very sure I'm of the opinion that when the time comes, these young aspirants that are contesting for president, for instance, will develop a particular space where each and every one of us will come together and we will raise a particular candidate who is more viable, who is more, who possess more intellectual power, who have the political backing, and so to say, to ensure that young people's votes are not scattered. Because if we are together, if we form a synergy to work together, with that 60 million youth in Nigeria, we can decide who becomes the next president of Nigeria and as well for other positions across Nigeria.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you. Let me come to you, Dr. Let me take it from where he just landed now, because there was a question I was trying to hinge there. So far, we have not less than about 10 young people coming out to say they want to run for president, which is good. It's good for democracy, it's beautiful, and all of that. But when it comes to the issue of strategy and logic, you were talking about logic earlier on. There has been a system over time. We have just less than 10, 11 months to the election. Yeah. Everyone is still running individual campaigns here and there. In fact, some have not even, some of the young people have not found their political party yet. Just a few, maybe about 2 or 3, have decided to pitch tent with a certain political party. Is that good strategy when it comes to everyone run on its own, and then from what he said later on, they're going to come together to decide who is going to step down for who, and then who they're going to front? Is that a good strategy?
If they will ever agree, it's a very good strategy, because Nigeria that we have today is a little bit bigger than the capacity of many of these people. And I mean reaching out to everybody as we speak. So if you are working individually, for example, and there's hope that at the end of the day you are going to merge, then it's a good strategy. If I am from Edo State, and of course, I will have strong presence in my state and some other adjoining state, I will be able to concentrate on that and work there. Maybe somebody is from Nasarawa State, is also working there. If at the end of the day, maybe some few months to the election, we decide to put our energies together. But with what I have seen, Mike, I have worked with these people. One of the reasons why I established my young lead, this thing, is because of bringing some of these people together. And I've engaged them. With what I have seen, Mike, I will tell you that I know many of them will not step down. Because I've also seen that to a certain extent, it is about self, not about the society. And many of them will not step down. So at the end of the day, if they do not step down, if they do not have a meeting point, then whatever we do, we should also shift our attention from the presidency. Why this law was passed in the first place was not because the young people want to take over the presidency. It is the minute unit of our governance process, taking over from the House of Assembly, taking over from the House of Reps, so that we can put innovation into governance. That is my cry. Experience over time has failed us as a country, because that is why we are doing the same thing over and over. This is how my father did it, and I'm going to do it this way. And if I did it the same way my father did it, I'm going to obtain the result of my father. And the society is becoming more complex by the day.
You can't do something the same way and then
expect
different results. It's not possible. So, okay, Dr. Let's just even make a conjecture here that somehow all the youths come together to choose a sole candidate. Because we have to face reality here. Which political party, brings me back to that question again, how do they now, exert themselves in a political party that we are an authority to be recognized and to be given a ticket to run with the kind of politics, the type of politics being played in the country?
You see, if you start getting a ticket from your political party, start from joining your political party. If
And he said earlier, many have not even joined any political party.
If I have majority of my people in a political party, it doesn't matter whether the party is PDP or APC. I am going to have my way. The old people will have their say. But at the end of the day, because either we like it or not, it's a game of number. I am going to play my number. But how do I get the majority of the people when I am broke? How do I get the majority of the people when those people who are even within my age range are also broke, and they know that the only way, the society has made it in a way that the only way to escape poverty is through politics. So they are only waiting for the next election because they know whatever they want to get from government is going to happen before the next election. So they find the election as an opportunity to make the professional politicians
From the reports we got from one of the party congresses held recently, delegates made close to 5-6 million naira.
All of them. Nothing is changing in our existing political parties. Nothing is changing. Is it even from the election head in one of the states, not in 2015, after 2015, they call it, what was the strategy? They call the strategy see and buy. See and buy means that you will thumbprint, and you go and tactically show the agent of the party, I don't vote for your party, then you collect your 5,000. That's how it has been. So the government now has even done its part. My problem is with my parents. My problem is with my church members. My problem is with my mosque members who will never do their own part. What is their own part? Go to election. Don't play politics of poverty. Politics of poverty is when you get to an election ballot system and you are expecting somebody to give to you. Mike, I once told you a story of what happened where I voted. There was it's a story building. The agent of the political party will stay on top of the story building, and they will be spying to know which political party you voted for. That was in 2015. And once you vote, if you voted for PDP, I think you will get in that polling unit, it was, I think, 1,000 naira. APC was still broke then, so they were giving 500 naira. Now they give a lot of money now in APC. So 1,000 naira, 500 naira. So after I voted, I was expecting that they will also come to me and say, but they didn't come to me. It shows that the society will understand the kind of things that you stand for. So my problem is the government has done its part. It's my parents, my church members, my mosque members, my social club members.
Oludaisi, I hope you heard what Dawson just said. And it seems to be the next phase of the work cut out for your group, really, and Nigerian youths in general. How do you get Nigerians, especially those of voting age, and even the ones yet to get to 18, to understand that their power is their power to vote and they shouldn't sell it?
Yes, I have some reactions about what Dr. John has said, and in the areas of expressing fear, I want to tell him, I want to urge him and encourage him not to entertain any fear about what is to come in 2019, especially in the areas of participation, election, or the popular things he just said that the Boko Sibe, you understand? That is not going to come to play. For instance, I want to share the experience of Not Too Young to Run. When we started, some people said we were being sponsored by some group, that they are giving us money to do this campaign. But I asked some questions that time, that you want to chase somebody away from his or her house, would that person be giving you the necessary resources to do that? So that was the question. They were unable to answer me. Now, Dr. John, I don't want you to express fears about your parent or about that church member. But what I want, or what should be the focus of our engagement for 2019 is we should mobilize young people. I have said it earlier and I want to repeat. If we mobilize young people across Nigeria to desert that money, to desert that thuggery aspect of politics, and make decisions that affect their future, decision that will stop unemployment, the decision that will stop corruption, the decision that will ensure we'll have a formidable environment that creates jobs for the young people, then we will stop collecting money. We will stop the aspect of running around corrupt leaders who has in recent time bastardized our political processes. And I'm sure if we'll work in that direction, we'll be able to create that desired change that we want to create in the political scene of Nigeria. So it's very simple. My focus as I'm talking to you is on young people. We have the demographic we are working on is about 60 million. And I can tell you the vote Jonathan and Buhari got in 2019, if you sum it together, it's not even up to 30 million. You understand? So if we can, on our own, mobilize 40 million Nigerian youths, we'll have our way in whatever capacity we want to have our way as far as 2019 is concerned.
All
and
right.
we also need to look beyond 2019 as well.
We have to leave it here now. When it comes to mobilizing, to mobilize 40 million people, you'd require so much resources to mobilize human beings. You know,
but we want them to change their mindset.
Exactly. There's so much, and we also have the leader of the movement, Itodo, was calling on political parties to reserve about 50% of their tickets for youths, and that is one of the mistakes that the affirmative action was also making sometimes when they say reserve. You are not going to, nobody's going to keep it for you to go and collect. So you have to take it. If you know you have that, you will that power, you have that consciousness, you have the intelligence, you have everything it takes, go there and take it.
Don't wait to be given.
Don't wait to be given, because you will never be given. Thank you so much for joining us on the discussion, a member of the Not Too Young to Run movement.
At the end of the day, having said all this, I want you to read what I'm putting on.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
can. Exactly.
But
this is the Obama version of the yes, we
can. At the end of the day, we can.
Okay.
Because we should, like I said, we should continue to overcome what we think are political impossibilities. Because at the end of the day, we have the potentials, we have the innovation, and I think we have the direction to actually
All right, Dr. Ojon, Leadership and Communication Strategist, thank you very much for your time on the show.
You're welcome, Azizat.
Thank you so much.